I running the right runs? Welcome to Case on the Run. This channel is directly for those average or back of the pack runners that videos usually aren't intended for, leaving the everyday runner completely ignored. You're the middle child of running. Today, I'm showing you how to build a running plan for the middle ground, a system built for your actual life. So if you're a middle or back of the pack runner, regardless of what distance, stick around because today we're gonna solve the answer to, am I running the right runs? You think this is gonna work? It's got to. But there's so many videos out there that are just misleading. Look, bud, I've spent hours watching videos just to be left with the feeling of, huh? Today we're actually going to provide you with some actual information that's going to help you. Not a one size fits all. Not a do this and you're magically going to get there. Today we're going to give you the information that you need to know, am I running the right runs? What's up, guys? I am Case. I am a 3:56 marathoner. I ran track in high school. I did a little bit in college where I was on the club track team and ran the 400 there as well. And now here we are. Now I'm running distances that I did not want to ever run, and I enjoy them. So how do you get there? Let's break it down, because the last video I posted is a training plan for 50 miles a week for essentially what to do in the meantime when you're going from one marathon training block to the next. I also provide a free 30-mile-a-week training plan for those that have a lot busier of a lifestyle and can't fit 50 miles in. If you have not seen that video, I will put a little link in the description for you, and it also will pop up right there at the end of the video so that you can check that out afterward. If you like my content, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. Without further ado, let's get into it. So over this past summer, I signed up with a professional runner as a coach. She's an international elite runner, and I was able to pick her brain on a number of things, and I was able to adjust my training plan when I'm not in a training block based off of what she suggested. So the one thing that you want to know is, how are you actually scheduling your days and what mileage should you be doing? So if you are going from 20 miles a week and the next week you want to run, say, 22 or 23 miles, then the best thing to do is to do the same exact structure. If, say, Monday you're doing a recovery run and that is 3 miles, then what you can do is you can add a half mile there or add a mile there so that it's easier mileage that you're bumping up and you're not overdoing your system. So one thing to do is, if you are, say, doing 4 or 5 hard miles a week, which just means an intensity higher than zone 2, then if you're upping your mileage, you should keep it at that 5 miles of hard miles until you sustain that level, and then you can ramp it up. So say mile week 1, you do 20 miles a week, and then mile week 2, you want to do 22 miles a week. I would then add the mile or 2 into the recovery or easy zone 2 miles that you're going to do, and then the week after that, if you want to do 22 miles again, that's when you can then switch, say, one of those miles that are easy for maybe a hard mile, and allow your body to adjust that way, because your body has to adjust or you're going to feel a lot of aches and pains and possibly pull something. Right now, I'm going to teach you how to build your own plan where it's going to be effective and you're going to get the most out of yourself. Now, you can essentially make this as flexible as possible for you, because I don't know your body. Tell me in the comments below, what is the day that you're having the most difficulty structuring around? Are you having a difficult time figuring out what intervals to actually do? Or are you having a difficult time with your long run? So on the screen now is what you're going to see as an effective plan that you can shift around and make your own to build your own plan. So what that's going to look like is, I start my run weeks on technically a Tuesday, I guess, but yeah, I do. I didn't realize that. So I start my run weeks on a Tuesday and I finish on a Monday, but I schedule it this way just because it looks nice. But essentially, let me explain. So on Tuesday, you're going to start the week on a nice zone 2, and then you're going to move into an interval session, or a session where you're going to get your heart rate up, is probably the easiest way to describe it. So whether you want to do quarter mile repeats, half mile repeats, kilometer repeats, any of these are good. It's something that can get you up into your zone 4 work or your VO2 max work, depending on what those sessions are looking like. And it's just a way that you can build that ceiling so you can keep pushing it a little bit higher and a little bit higher, which will allow you to run faster. I then follow that up with a rest day and a recovery in zone 1, which If you do not know what your zones are, I have a link in the description to my video that will provide you the most accurate way that I have found to finding your zones that you can adjust on a week by week basis based off of what you're going through and how your body is reacting that week. This is the one that I use and has been spot on accurate. Next, I will go into a zone 2 run, and essentially what that looks like is conversational pace, where you can have a conversation just like this while you're running, and this allows you to build that aerobic engine where your base is now being able to grow, because the longer you can withstand this pace, the longer you're going to be able to run more comfortably with less injury and be able to build your mileage correctly. Then it gets me to Sunday, where that is my long run. It's just how my schedule works out. Why I set this up is because then after that I have a recovery day where it's some shorter mileage, but it allows me to still stack the miles but also give my legs a chance to fully rest without really going hard on them. The best way to do this is to figure out what actually fits into your work schedule. So if you are doing 25 miles a week or 30 miles a week, so here's what that could look like. You could have your long run on a Sunday, and then you could do a recovery day as a rest day where you don't run. And then after that, you could do a zone 2 day. And then after that, you could do a interval session, and then you could do a rest day, and then you could do a zone 2 day. And so now you have it scheduled where you have the breaks where you need to let yourself recover, but you also can put the mileage in where you can see fit. The best thing to do is to make sure that the days after and the days before you want to do something difficult like a long run or intervals, that you're giving yourself the best opportunity to perform on those days, because if you do too much the day before or the day after, you're not going to allow your body the proper rest that it needs to make sure that when that session comes up again or that long run comes up, whatever is next, you're going to be taking away from that. And those are the 2 days that you're going to be building the most fitness to actually get you faster, and the other days that you're sprinkling in are the days that are going to help you run longer. So think of it as zone 2, you can run longer, and long runs and your intervals are the days where you can really work on your stamina as well as your speed. If you do want a plan that you do not have to put any thought into, click that video right there. There are 2 options there. I explained into full detail each day and why. Hopefully they help. I'll see you next time.